Alright, so this is the basic plan for the bed frame, and as you can see, it's got a front section here which is going to be screwed onto these posts. These are going to be solid with screws. This is going to be the sides are going to be bolted on so you can remove the sides, and all the planks are going to be just laid on top of there without any screws or glue, so you can easily pack up this thing for moving. The back is going to be all one piece too, so let me just show you the pieces I got here. These are some pieces that I had lying around. They're pretty thick, they're like 1 3/4 inch, and this is, I cut them down to 6.5 inches. This is another piece that I made to be 6.5 inches. I only had this piece and I added this one together with it, and these are going to be the pillars, which are like these parts here. So I've already started with the front piece here. Go back to my plan. This is this front piece here. Okay, we got a 45-degree angle there. So I know that the queen size bed is 60 by 80 inches. So this front piece I made from those boards and those pillars. I'll just show you the back before I do that. So note that this is screwed in and glued. I glued this to this pillar here because it's going to be a solid piece. There won't be anything that you can take apart here. And those screws screw into this pillar here. And what's interesting to note is that for one, you have this 45-degree angle here, and you also have a space here where the boards are going to be. I'll just show you on the plan here. These boards that are on the top, they're going to go right in this space. You have the other board that's going to be right here. So for the measurements for this front piece, here we have 12 inches, okay, up to this board here. This board is 6.5 inches, and this space here is 3/4 inches to accommodate for those 3/4 inch boards that are going to be the top platform of the mattress. So let's get moving with the back side. This is this whole section here, and we're going to after that build these two side rails, and there's also a center rail that's going to be in here. So let's get started with the back. Alright, so I've got most of the bed frame set up, well, just the outer perimeter of it. As you can see, I'll just show you a bit of what kind of techniques I've been employing in making this bed frame. So here you see the rear section, which is a whole section in that it's screwed together and glued together like this, and same at the other side. And this side is going to be bolted, so it can be taken apart from the side. And I'm going to be completing the headboard with boards all the way up here. And what else did I want to show you guys? Oh yeah, right, so these are the side rails that I'm going to be installing. This is going to be the next step. These are going to be holding the boards. Oops. These are going to be holding the boards, which won't be nailed or screwed in or anything. And so I'm going to glue and screw these in to the side. And there'll also be this center piece here that I've already screwed and glued. And that will be like the center support. So once the glue's dry, I'm going to be able to bolt it to the rest of the frame. So I couldn't film for a part there because the battery ran out on the camera, but I finished the headboard, which is here. I'll just show you a bit of what I did. So this is 3/4 of an inch thick wood, and there's all kinds here. Mostly I got some wood that was previously finished and varnished here, but I did have to custom make some boards. As you can see here, I thinned it out to the width of it here, which is quite challenging with the table saw, but nonetheless I did it. And I finished it off with one of these weathered boards just to give it a nice look. So I was debating putting the boards all the way up to the top here or leaving these posts. I think I will just leave the posts because I think it gives it a nice look overall. So all I have to do with this now is, once I take it apart, take the circular saw and just cut it straight down to length here to about here. Well, to here actually. Now I'm in just the finishing up a couple things. These boards all have to be washed because they were in that pile over there, which was really kind of dirty in the mud and bugs crawling all over it. So I will have to wash these with some soap. So all these boards are done till the end, and I installed this center beam here, which is essential if you're building a queen to have a center support here. So that's done, and I'm going to get to the washing. Alright, all the boards are washed and cleaned, and now I'm just letting them dry. During that time I'm going to trace the line I need in order to cut this straight with the circular saw. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I've got the lines traced here so that when I disassemble the bed I can have a nice straight line, so I can cut that headboard. And the last touch that I'm going to be doing here before I disassemble the frame is to add a third bolt here just to give the bed a little bit more stability. I was debating about whether or not I should do this before, but I think I'm going to go ahead and add a third bolt here so that the 3 bolts together will make it super stable. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I brought all the pieces inside to assemble in the bedroom. So I'm going to give you a little time-lapse view of this process. It shouldn't be too long. I just have to bolt in the frame and bolt in the centerpiece here, and then I'll put on the planks for the bed surface. so bed frame is officially complete. It's really sturdy. There's absolutely no bounce to it, and I ended up putting 3 bolts per joint here for these removable sides, which was a little bit more time consuming, but I think in the end it adds some more stability. Because I tried it out with just 2 bolts on either side, so when I was pushing the headboard from side to side, there was a little bit of movement, so I think putting a 3rd bolt in here was good. So I'm just going to let the top boards dry out, because when I brought them inside, some of them weren't quite dry from when I washed them, and they need to dry out fully, so I'm going to wait a bit before I put my mattress on here. But all in all, I think it's a great project. If you are taking this project on by yourself, I would budget about a week. If you're doing a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there, you could, if you're doing it by yourself, plan about a week of time to finish it. So if you're working like an hour or 2 per day, that's about how much time it took me to do this project. You might work a lot faster, so it might be less time for you, or even more time if you have less time on your hands. But for me, it was about a week to complete this project. So here is the 3 bolts, and I had to put them here because you have these screws. I think they're 3.5 inches. They go in like this, so I have to leave space for where the screws go in here, and they can't bump into each other. So that's why they have to be at this location. So that required quite a bit of measuring. You can see here from the top, I made a top line to see how wide this post was, just so I would drill at the right place. And when you're not using a press drill to drill this, you really got to check your angles for when you're drilling, so you don't drill too crooked. Some of them I went a bit crooked on. It wasn't a total disaster, but it could have been straighter. I also added 4 bolts here on this center beam section. This is the beam that goes all the way till the end. I'll just give you a little peek under there, what it looks like. Okay, they're screwed into the side here, those 3.5 inch screws, so those hold the blocks on. So it's the same story. I need to be able to get these bolts in without bumping into the screws that are on this side. So that's the tricky part about that center beam. And you'll see where this is the worst example here, where I really didn't stay true to my 3 bolt concept that I had here, with the two bolts on closer to one side and then the 1 bolt towards the center. Here it was kind of like, man, where am I going to put this 3rd bolt here? So this one was the hairiest one out of it. It wasn't a total disaster. So what really important thing, once you finish this, and that's what I'm going to not be able to show in this video, is to number every corner. So you can see that this board goes with this post, like number them corner number 1, and you number this board here on the inside, obviously, so you don't see it, so that when you take it apart and put it back together, it's really straightforward. Same thing with the center beam, just name it like A, B, something like that. So pretty fun project, and all in all, with the buying the hardware, it was about $35–40 of hardware, because those are really long bolts and the nuts and all the washers. So I hope you got a lot of good information from watching this video of this reclaimed wood bed frame. Please like, comment, and subscribe. So head over to naturalmattressfinder.com. You'll find a link down below in the description where you can download a PDF of the plans that I drew up to make this queen bed frame. You can also go to my site naturalmattressfinder.com and type reclaimed wood into the search bar, and the article should pop up right away. So my name is Daniel Boudreau from naturalmattressfinder.com. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next video.